everyone, and welcome to another Monday Marriage Moment. I'm Chad Horton, and to my right, this beautiful being is Sharice Horton, my lovely wife. And today we just want to talk about the value of your vows, the value of your vows. And so I'm just going to start off with the first one, which I take you, Sharice, to be my wife, to have and to hold, right? So what having you means to me is that I am taking, as I take your hand, then I am taking possession of the love that you're given. You can relax. And the care, the love and the care, right? So when I take your hand in marriage, I'm taking you into my possession, to have and to hold, to love you and to care for you. Not just as a possession like you my wife, you my woman, but to actually love you. And I would say as Christ loved the church, because I was working off of Ephesians 5 and 29 or 28, which says, "So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies." So me taking you to have and to hold is taking you upon myself in a way, taking you into my life in a way, and caring for you in the same way that I would care for my own body. When I'm hungry, I feed myself. When I'm cold, I do something to warm myself up, etc. So I become, the same way I make provision for myself, I am now making those same provisions for you. It's not we're married, but you figure it out, you know.
Right.
You figure it out, you work it out, but you got me. Like, what good is that?
Right.
So the other half of Ephesians 29 that I'll let you get in here is he says, for no man, this is the logic of loving your wife as your own body. And then he says, he that loves his wife loves himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but he nourished it, cherished it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body and of his flesh and of his bones. And so, I mean, simply my call to you to have and to hold you is to love you and care for you, provide for you as I would myself.
I like that idea. And it goes both ways. And so just as Chad has expressed, there's more to having and holding than just saying, okay, you're mine now. And there is so much more value in that, just knowing that you do have something, and that it's not something to be devalued, because the next part of that says to hold. And specifically when I think of to hold, it's like to not just to take something, but to keep it and to manage it, to balance it, to cover it, to protect it. When you're holding something, you have a grip on it, and because you don't want to drop it. You don't want to let it go. You don't set it down. You hold it. And so I think for me, part of that is realizing that this is something that I will always have with me. And you, being my husband, are what's always with me. And you may not be with me physically all the time, but as I go throughout my day, as I make decisions, as I transition from one stage of life to the next, because we have committed to each other. Right before that in the vows, it says, from this day forward. And so at that point on, not only do we have each other, but we're actually also holding each other. And so that means we don't operate separately from each other. You know, we talk about husband and wife the two shall become one. And what happens is when we take and we have and we hold, that is the beginning of the two of us becoming one. And so there is no putting it down. And of course, you know, that's what a vow is. It's a commitment, it's a promise, it's a like a covenant agreement. And that's something that you, at the end of, you know, the officiant is telling you these things, and you say, I do.
Yeah.
You commit to having me and to holding me, and I commit to having you and holding you.
Right.
And so even though there's so much more in the vows. It starts out with, you understand that now I'm yours and you're mine, and we're not putting each other down.
Right. Absolutely. And I was going to say something else to that hold part. It's like, like this hold, it's like doing what it takes to hold.
Yeah.
Because I think the other part is too, I can love you the way that I want to love you, and it may be foolish because I may not be checking with you to say, how do you want to be loved? Like, what's important to you?
Yeah.
What are your values as a person? What is your background? What helps?
Yeah.
What hurts?
Yeah.
And to me, that hold, it's like, it's doing what it takes to hold that person, because just as easy as I can, if I do it all wrong, I take possession of you. If I do it all wrong, I say, well, you're mine, you're not going anywhere. Like, that's a different kind of hold.
Different.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
And it might end up, that kind of attitude might end up causing more of a tear,
more
a
damage,
tearaway
more
than
harm.
it does, a bonding and a sticking together. So I think that's why, like, those who cover the continue to date helps to renew that have and to hold relationship.
I was just going to say, when you said renew, that reminded me of the fact that it's something we have to consistently do. It's something we have to continue to remember, that just because you said the vows or we said our vows together way back in 2000 doesn't mean that that's the only time we vowed to each other.
Right.
We wake up every day and we make that same decision. I do. I have, and I hope I have chosen that from that point on. And every day I have to live in the memory of that. And I have to make that an active part of my living.
Right.
Like, I can't just totally neglect it and not be intentional about remembering it, because life comes at you from all different angles and things happen. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, we are still husband and wife. We're still one, and we still have and hold each other.
Right.
So when you said that word renew, it just reminded me that this is something that we have to renew. Every single day, every decision, we have to keep that at the forefront, that I am no longer just by myself, but I am part of, because we are one. I am part of you, and you are part of me. So we hope that you guys take that into consideration, take that in your heart, that you remember that there is value in having and holding each other, and not to forget the vow that you made on the day that you said I do. So this has been another Monday Marriage Moment. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.